I'm a 90s kid, and part of my 90s kid addiction is a little electric mouse named Pikachu that kidnapped my soul and left with it years ago. I found there's a reward. It's not a big reward, but let me know. Pokemon is a series that has been around for years, and where the game has been a great pastime for me, its mechanics have stayed pretty much the same. You start off, you get a Pokemon, you battle Pokemon, you beat a gym leader, you beat another 7 gym leaders. Along the way, you beat up your rivals a couple times as well as the enemy team. You might find some legendaries, or I guess for the new games, you will find some legendaries. And then you beat the Elite Four, and it's done. And the games are about the journey, but the journey seems to get more and more familiar every single time. The gyms are cool, the worlds are neat, but something just feels the same. The introduction of fairy-type Pokemon in X and Y was a nice little change of pace, but the best way to change your Pokemon experience is to try a challenge. That's why today I'm going to talk about some of the challenges I did in Pokemon games. The first challenge I ever did was in Fire Red, and I did an all-one type challenge. I think it's referred to more commonly as the Gym Leader Challenge, where you pick one type that you really like and you stick with it from the beginning of the game till the end of the game. It can get pretty difficult. I didn't actually end up beating this. I got bored with it. I chose Ground type for my very first run at this. And where I liked my team and thought they were good, it just... Lorelei kinda sorta trampled all of them mercilessly, time and time again. So I was afraid to try anybody else. But when I was older, I tried it again in Black and White, where I did an all-electric team challenge, but I only chose 4 Pokemon because there just wasn't a large enough variety. What I like about the Gym Leader Challenge is it gives you the opportunity to try playing with Pokemon of your favorite type, or even choosing one that you're not very familiar with. For me, Ground and Electric types are my favorite. Now, if they could take a Pokemon and put them together, I always thought like a Rhydon evolution would be cool. Oh wait, they did. It's a Stunfisk. But the problem with this is it just kind of feels like a regular run. There's nothing really tricky about it aside from having to wait to get your Pokemon, or even if you trade them over, it's just another run with the same Pokemon you might have already picked. Choosing a type that you're not very familiar with could be more engaging, more interesting, but more likely than not, it's not going to change up your gameplay too much. X and Y, since it was an easier game, it was very simple to redo the game over and over again. I think I've got over 200 hours, which is most Pokemon games for me. But I attempted to create a new challenge. Whether this has been done or not, I don't know. But I call it the Route Master Challenge. Before each gym leader, you catch any Pokemon along that route, up to 6, of course. And then you battle the gym leader. You keep one Pokemon on the team just long enough to catch another Pokemon. And then everybody goes in your box. And you've got your one. And then you have to catch a new set for the next gym. You do this for every single gym. You'll have a new set of 6 for every gym. And then at the very end, you have 2 options. You can, after beating the 8th gym leader, collect Pokemon along Victory Road in an attempt to beat the Elite Four, or you can use Pokemon from your previous routes, as long as you don't pick all of them from the same one, and battle against the Elite Four. Personally, I liked this challenge a lot. It had a nice pace to it, and I ended up using a lot of Pokemon I wouldn't normally use. See, with the Nuzlocke challenge, you have the ability to know, oh, I've played this game before, this Pokemon's right over here. With the Route Master, you might find yourself surprised. I had a little Golett that I named Minnesota, and while I didn't like the Pokemon at all, by the end of the challenge, I was actually pleasantly surprised with it and enjoyed having it on my team. Didn't make my final cut, but it was still a Pokemon I quite enjoyed. X and Y, I also did a challenge where you take and your friend sends you over 6 eggs. You don't know what's in them. You don't know what's going to hatch. You don't know if they took the time to super breed them or if they just slapped a Ditto to it and called it good. So you sit there and you wait for your Pokemon to hatch and your team could be adequate, or it could be right down awful depending on what kind of friends you have. Me and Yako did this, and Yako didn't complete her challenge, and admittedly this one was probably the dullest one that I've done, because it's really cool starting the game off and you have all these Pokemon that you might not have ever used before, that you really like, that your friend gave you, but it's not your team. You didn't really pick it out, and that's also why I never really did good on my Wonder Trade teams. Because for me, Pokemon's about being able to pick who you like and who you don't, and work hard with them. Sweeping the internet is the Nuzlocke challenge. Everybody and their dog is out there YouTubing about how this works for them, and wow, they're tragically torn apart when their Pokemon die. I've attempted 2 Nuzlockes. One was in black and white, and one was in the recent Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. My black and white one, I lost the cartridge halfway through. So, didn't beat that one. And admittedly, I only beat my Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire one because Pokemon of me. My darling little plate, shown here. Isn't it cute? Defeated Steven's Mega Metagross, and endured for 1 HP and lived to tell the tale. My entire team, with the exception of my little mascot that for some reason stayed on the team even though they weren't very good, Vigoroth, were the only Pokemon left at the very end, and that X-Cloud nameplate endured with 1 HP. This is a very popular challenge because it is kind of heartbreaking to have a Pokemon that's tried so hard on your team and then just to have to kind of boot him off, let him go, never see him again. Which is also part of my problem with this one, is you don't give your Pokemon a chance to try. Let's say you screw up. You accidentally click on Leer instead of Crunch or Bite. Something that would have actually finished the battle. You accidentally click the wrong button. It's your fault. Pokemon's dead. Can't use them anymore. This encourages you to strategize a lot more, as well as the fact that you're limited in how many Pokemon you can catch. But it just, for me, as hard as the challenge was, for me it's not the most rewarding one I've had. My all-time favorite challenge is the Petite Cup. I'm currently doing a run again in X and Y with a Petite Cup team. This meaning that you keep all of your Pokemon as pre-evolved as they get. You don't ever let them evolve, and you have to take on giant Salamances with a tiny little baby Riolu. This makes type battling even more of a big problem. You send out a Pokemon against the wrong type and you're gonna get mowed over. Makes you have to choose a wider selection of team, making sure everybody's got something that can balance somebody out, and creates an overwhelming aversion to certain types if you forget to do that first part. I recommend doing this by catching Pokemon as you go instead of trading them all over. That's what I did my first time, and on my current run, you have Pokemon that might not be the best on your team, but they try so hard, and sometimes it's almost more rewarding to fail a couple dozen times and then finally rise up against that dang Machoke. I know for me, Pokemon has always been sort of an escapism for me, and a way to break from the norm of the world. And when Pokemon starts to get a little monotonous, it's time for a challenge. So if you guys want to let me know down below what kind of challenges you've done, I'd be glad to hear about them. I'm Aeris-Blue from Team Animeishness, and I will see you in the next video. Later! Hi, sorry for the lack of update yesterday. I was a little bit busier than I thought I was going to be and didn't have enough time to post before I had to go to work. So I apologize for that, and I hope that Pokemon's a nostalgic thing for you to sort of make up for the fact that I didn't post yesterday. So go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. I'm Aeris-Blue speaking for Team Animeishness. Later!